Hello, welcome. Cookies enabled. I am Will, your host. I am so happy to be here. Hopefully everything is coming through clear. And Andrew, my editor, here to my left, I think.
Finally back.
I know, finally back. Hooray! He's finally got a day off. Thankfully, everything has come through.
Man, my only day off. We're in the middle of a big festival up here, so it's a little crazy. But you know, I've got a great team. They're kicking ass this week, and I'm excited to see what they're able to do. So
I'm excited for you guys. I'm sure it is beautiful weather up there. I know it's been pretty hot, pretty humid, and we've been getting a lot of haze from the wildfires, excuse me, over on the West Coast. So I'm really sorry about all the fires out there, buddy. I really hope, fingers crossed, that things get better for you guys, because I know that's not fun. And it's unfortunately making our sets a little hazier. So they might be a little more red, which might be prettier for us here, but it just makes the whole day gloomier, unfortunately, which in Michigan we are used to. So that's no big deal here, unfortunately.
I had noticed that, especially the moon at night. What was it, Montana, Idaho, something like that? You should know this. I
honestly,
obviously.
Yeah. It's a very big deal, and I am not taking that very lightly. So it's definitely something to take seriously, and I'm very, very hopeful that we'll get that under control pretty soon here. We've had kind of a mix. We were almost into a drought at the beginning of summer, and we had like 3 weeks of constant rain.
You've got a lot of rain down south.
Yeah, which was fine.
Kalamazoo, Rapids, a lot of flooding.
Yeah, that a lot.
We've had a good amount up here, but today it's 80, sunny, it's perfect.
Yep, same here. Actually, a little overcast down here. Actually, looks like I might get a random pop-up storm or something. There's some big clouds. Anyway, but it's beautiful, and I'm loving the weather so far. Michigan has been getting it pretty lucky this year. We've got a very mild, so far the predictions have been correct, so I'm loving that. Did want to mention really quick, though, I know we've been way behind on our main episodes. That's because both Andrew and I are kicking butt at our jobs, just getting steamrolled, unfortunately. So I'm putting our main episodes on hold. I'm just going to point that out right now. Our episodes probably won't really come back until October 4th would be the first Monday that we should have back up and running. It'll give us plenty of time to get multiple episodes ready to go and really finely polished. I'm trying to make it a little bit more good. We're going to continue to do the What's New Wednesdays, and that'll kind of be our main episodes for right now. So unfortunately, I hate to put those on hold.
We'll have your random day discoveries in the mix there, just whenever we find something cool.
Exactly.
We'll get a bunch ready, get them, to auto post once October comes.
Yep.
Thanks for sticking with us.
Definitely, yes.
We appreciate it.
I know, we've got some great subscribers. We're just over 50 on subscribers, which is great, and we up to our 800 views, which is awesome. So we're not even a whole year old. So I'm very happy and super thankful for our watchers. Thank you. We got some awesome news for you guys today. We'll jump right into it here since we've got a bunch of topics and a lot happened last week. So I had almost no news last week, and now we've got almost too much news this week. This is going to be interesting. But super heavy boosters with SpaceX is where we can start. Andrew, I'll let you take this over here. I'll put some images up here of this booster because this thing's awesome.
Yeah, so we're finally hearing some more about the super heavy. I'm so excited for that. That image you're looking at, that is the first stage booster, super heavy. That is, I believe, BN3. That one will not fly. That is only for static tests.
Right.
This test was very short, maybe a second or two. That's all they needed. They only had 3 engines on that test. So we're waiting to see what's happening next.
Right.
Sounds like, depending on how progress comes on building BN4 and getting that ready, they'll most likely do a test with 9 engines.
Okay.
For this one, they'll add 6 more and do another static fire test.
9 engines. Wow.
For the bolted stand, so it can't lift off.
Right.
Just to make sure the engines work, that everything is nominal. So they did a 3-engine test.
Jeez.
It went perfectly well. Pretty soon, I'd say within a few days, we'll probably see a 9-engine test.
Oh, yes.
And then BN4, I'm sorry, the one that actually launches with a Starship on top of it.
Right.
So, yeah, you're looking at a 230-foot long, tall booster right there. That's big.
I mean, it's huge.
Starship itself is about 160 feet tall. So you put all those together and you're looking at almost 400
At least, yeah. I mean,
Right
you're kicking it.
through the yeah,
I
300
mean,
feet tall. That is, if you've been to Sea Point,
yeah,
and if you
that's
look up at Top
top
Thrill
thrill.
Dragster,
Yeah,
that's as tall as this at its full height with a Starship
jeez,
stack. So,
it's a big one.
yeah, they'll do a test with 9 Raptor engines, and the BN4 when it launches will have 30.
30.
Now, for comparison, when they had Falcon Heavy launch,
Right.
when they did those tests, that was 27 engines.
Right.
It'll be a little bit more, but due to it being one booster, one rocket, weight differences, this will be the most powerful rocket ever built by humans.
Yeah,
It's a little crazy.
it is very crazy.
I'm very excited to see this happen.
This is gonna be so cool.
Other than that, we've had a few more, routine launches
Yeah.
of satellites, Starlink still going. What else did they done? That's pretty much it with SpaceX at the moment.
Okay.
I know that early this morning, to make way for was it the Russian Space
Yes.
Administration is sending a new module. I'm not sure
That is
exactly what
correct.
it is. I didn't look into it.
Yeah, it was a
To the
science
station, so
lab
they
of
could
some
have
kind.
to move.
Right.
Yeah, they did have to move one of the Dragon capsules over to a different airlock.
Right.
So that's always fun.
Yeah, and they're doing. There was a live stream earlier, and I tried to tune into it,
Mhm.
but the only thing it was showing was just the live feed of Earth from. It wasn't showing them actually working on the space station at that time.
They
So
tend to do that.
yeah, they're
Unless some
classified
actually.
stuff.
So we'll see. But I think that launch is going up today. It's from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan. That's
Okay.
where Russia launches everything, where they used to launch our astronauts as well.
Right.
Not anymore now that we have SpaceX with Crew Dragon.
Right.
So,
Which huge help.
yeah,
Yep.
so that's super heavy. Other space news, I'm sure everybody has seen it on Facebook.
Hmm.
And there's a lot of polarizing comments on it, of course, of Blue Origin
Right. Right.
launching the first crewed mission of New Shepard,
Yes,
of
they
their
did.
rocket, with Jeff Bezos.
Right. Of course.
The ship. Again, it's Jeff Bezos, so that kind of leaves a sour note in a lot of people's mouth. It is space tourism.
Right. Right. So
A
yeah,
lot
I'm.
of politics, a lot of why aren't we fixing things here? I agree.
Me
To
too.
an extent.
I mean, yeah, they said the same thing about
That's the
landing on the
issue I
moon,
have
but
with
yeah.
Virgin Galactic and Blue Origin is, I mean, yes, it is space tourism. On one hand, it gets more people excited about space, yes. On the other hand, and it's still early.
Right.
I have not seen
Right.
enough come out of that yet to know how much that's going to advance
Exactly. Yeah, because it could be a bust.
research and what we're going to get out of it other than just rich people going to space. That's the difference between them and SpaceX. I see
Right.
is SpaceX has made many advancements with Starlink, with better internet coverage over the globe,
Right.
get it and actually having customers rideshare and get their satellites into space. There is some actual some science research
Right.
coming out of SpaceX's missions. So the others, I don't know what to think sometimes.
Right.
The cool thing with Blue Origin, though, was their, and I should pull it up,
I don't know.
her name. There was one of the people that rode on this. Let me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't
Really
pull up an
quickly.
image of it. I probably should have.
Yeah. Well, she was a pilot. Apparently, she's logged over 19,000 flight hours.
Okay.
Older woman. It should.
Here we go.
Yeah, there she is.
Yep.
You can see her on the screen right there.
Yep, I'll share this here with you guys. Poof. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's not in the frame. I'll move that around here. Give me a second. Andrew, I gotta lock you in place here. Where'd my web news go? There it is. Sorry. I gotta move this out the way
Yeah.
here.
So Jeff Bezos went up with his brother, an 18-year-old student from the Netherlands. And see, this is where, I mean, yes, this kid's parents had the money to buy the seat and send him up there, but he's also studying physics in the Netherlands. So this did, I'm sure, do something for him,
Right.
and inspire him to further his career. And physics, that sort of field, is definitely, the science, the STEAM, the steam fields, we need people
Yeah.
staying passionate about this. So yeah, maybe there's could be some good that comes from that. Also, I'm looking for the name still. I can't find it yet. 82-year-old aviation pioneer from Texas. Um, she wanted to become an astronaut, and this was a time when NASA basically said we no women.
Wally
We made a
Funk?
big advance,
Is that it?
and now, yeah, now she finally got to go to space. Yeah, yeah, Wally Funk.
Wally
That's
Funk?
her.
Yep.
And I watched the interview. She she's got some piss and vinegar in her. That's the only way.
You know, she
She
looks
is
like it.
a
If you're gonna,
hilarious, wonderful, energetic woman. At 82, she doesn't look or act like it. She was so incredibly excited to get into space. So this, there were some records. You had the oldest person in space
right.
and the youngest person in space on this, and they technically did get space because they went about 100 kilometers above the Kármán line.
Right, right.
So unlike Virgin Galactic, where it was kind of wishy-washy,
Right.
they actually made it to what the international community considers space.
Good. Okay.
So again, there are a lot of issues with it. A lot of people are pissed off, which I completely understand. But there are a few aspects of this launch that I think deserve some merit.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens next.
And this is,
But it was
I don't know,
it was a fun live stream to watch. It was a really cool launch. They always put out some quality video.
Yeah, they do.
I think it's got to be from a drone or a helicopter.
Right.
But their shots from above of the rocket taking up and then they pan with it is really cool.
Yeah, I just had that article from the Associated Press up, and it had all of those videos and images. I was kind of clicking through there. You probably saw me kind of filtering through stuff on the little web link there. So I will post that link in the source links for you guys if you want to check out those and dive more into that article. Because, again, it's really 50-50 because, again, like we're saying, there's so much in the world that can be worked on right now that we really don't need this. But at the same time, this is going to get us more used to doing things less on the ground, more in space, and actually venturing out and making it more of a commercial space and not this privatized rich people or extreme awesome super astronaut guy, because those are pretty much the only two people that get to go into space right now. You got to be an astronaut or super crazy rich, and that'll get you into space pretty much. So either way, this I hope will start bridging that gap down and giving more options for everything, and especially with China, trying to do moon bases and all kinds of random stuff. We'll just have to wait and see what happens because a lot's changing really fast in space. So cool news, not all bad news. Again, definitely space news. And staying in the realm of space news, I have good news. Finally,
Yes.
Great news. Hubble is back, everybody. She made it. Apparently, it was something to do with the power supply. And like all NASA equipment, they had duplicates of all equipment, all major equipment duplicated inside and pre-ready to go, just sitting there. Not doing anything. So when they found out it was the actual power supply, they realized they had to do other power swaps and changes as well. So they had to pretty much swap almost all of Hubble over to its secondary systems, and they just completely shut off the primary systems. And then suddenly the computer booted up and she was taking directions and instructions, no problem. And we got the first images from Hubble already. She is back to work, taking pictures. We've got 2 beautiful pictures. Literally the same day they rebooted her, she took pictures. So amazing. I'm happy that she's back. I can tell that she's glad.
It could have been so much worse. And I'm really happy that Hubble's up and working again.
Yes, and it didn't take any manned flights or anything, which is pretty much out of the question still. But they did say that since they pretty much had to revert to the backups, that if something happens from here on out with Hubble, is pretty much the end of the road. There isn't another backup they can switch to. There isn't, they can't go back to the primaries because they're all burnt out and 30 years old, and this equipment is still 30 years old floating through space. So, it's just a matter of time, really, is what I'm trying to say. But so glad that they were able to get Hubble back up, especially before its predecessor is even there to get its place yet. So, awesome news. I had to share that with you guys because I've been mentioning it the last couple of weeks, and it's been a little over a month. Poor Hubble's just been a little dead. Now we've got some amazing images. Unfortunately, they're just black and white. I think they was using its infrared sensors there and whatnot. But really cool.
It,
Really cool,
yeah.
nonetheless. So, very awesome. Very exciting news. Um,
Everybody can breathe a sigh of relief now,
uh,
at least for now.
I
Hope
definitely
it keeps.
slept better. I was better. They're attacking us. I have my kid over here. She's sleeping in front of me now, but
Yeah, mine is trying to get up and knock over my Lego again. I
oh,
had to rebuild the space station because it knocked it down
oh,
and
good.
it shattered, and now I'm missing like 3 pieces underneath the dresser.
Of course, of course. Hopefully they didn't eat any of the pizza.
Oh, probably.
Oh yeah, that's always
Uh,
a factor, especially with cats.
that's what you get when you live with cats.
Yes.
You just it's Lego. I can put it back together. Just deal with it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So some other interesting news I'm going to hit on really quick is not space related. So I think we're kind of out of the space news here. I'm going to talk about Windows 365, which is actually something new, and it's an old twist on something new. They've been technically doing this for some time now, but now they're actually coming out and saying, hey, we're going to run your desktop for you on our server and allow you to just access it from any device you want. And that will allow you to do anything you want. So if you signed up for like Office 365, which is a monthly subscription fee, this will seem very familiar because now you can actually rent a computer or server space dedicated to you. And so you can literally sign up for Windows 365, which gives you a dedicated hard drive, SSD, processor, and RAM, graphics, everything just for your desktop. And this will allow you to access it for your iPhone, your Android phone, tablets, computers, iMacs, Mac, Superbooks, whatever, Chromebook. Anything that pretty much has internet connection will allow you to get in to that same desktop and pick up where you left off. Literally
So
files
it's
all
just
right
a
there.
PC on the cloud.
It is
Basically.
exactly that. It is just a PC on the
Okay.
cloud. So that's really all they did. They just took the Office suite, which is what they did with Windows 10 and Windows 8. They just put that on the cloud and you just subscribe to it. And I even used it and loved the Office Suite 365. I could pull it up on the phone. I can send people things. I love it.
Isn't that basically what Apple did with iCloud like years ago?
Yes, yep, exactly. So Windows is catching up, but I don't know where they kind of came up with the idea to just completely throw out the user PC completely and just allow you to pretty much rent dedicated hardware from them. But this is actually a really not a bad idea. I think this is great, especially for people that are constantly on the move, and don't have.
Well, if you have a phone or you just have
Right.
lower end, like a Surface tablet,
Right.
this is great for someone who doesn't necessarily need a dedicated desktop.
Right.
And it looks like it's cross-platform because that
It is, yep. This is all like
that's
running
a
the
Mac
Windows
tablet.
11.
That is definitely a Mac.
Yes. Yep. And that's exactly what they say. If you go to the 360 or Windows 365 website, which is right on the Microsoft's dedicated homepage, it breaks all this down for you and it shows you exactly what you can sign up for. There's a bunch of different packages. It gets as low as I think about $39 a month. That gives you really basic stuff like Microsoft Word, Excel, Access, and a few other random, productivity apps, as well as your regular desktop features. Because again, it's still a computer. It's just dedicated to you. So no one else on the server bank gets to touch, access it, and it's double encrypted. So that means that Microsoft can't even see what you're doing on this. It's kind of like they're doing blind studies and letting you just run servers upon your own free will. And so that's kind of cool, extremely dangerous, but at the same time, I think this is really well thought through, and this has been years in the making. So I'm kind of excited. I almost want to test it out, but I have such good equipment, I don't really need to, I'm just kind of excited to see if Windows 11 incorporates more of a, I'm away on my Android phone and my computer's on at home, allowing me remote access because of Windows 365 kind of as the backbone there. I don't know. Fingers crossed. That's what I'm hoping for. That's really what they did with the 360 and with Xbox Live. They just kind of strung it all together and ran it right off the main servers, and poof, it was flawless, and it's nonstop right now. So we'll see how this goes. Again, they're just catching up to Apple and what they've been working on and doing for the last decade pretty much. Finally, Microsoft is on board. Yay! It's amazing when they get new
It'll be interesting to
CEOs.
see, especially with some sort of Windows 11 integration.
Yes. So really exciting stuff. I thought that was really cool news, and I'll definitely keep you informed as Windows 11 rolls out. I think a lot more about Windows 365 integration and whatnot. So I'll definitely keep you posted on that and let you know. But otherwise, skipping from Windows operating system to something really kind of funny. Now, in the news, you may have heard that there was a Bitcoin mining exchange set up running a bunch of PlayStation 4s, almost 4,000 PlayStation 4s in one room, playing a game, or what they thought was Bitcoin mining. Was actually not Bitcoin mining at all, which is heavily illegal. You can't just buy thousands of castles and string them together and just let them mine all day. I mean, you kind of can, but you're not supposed to. There's a lot of regulations and things that you just that's not how you're supposed to do it. That's not the. But what really was happening is that these PlayStation 4 were actually playing FIFA. These are the bots. So when you sign on to play online and you want to play against the computer, these are the PlayStation 4s that are just set up waiting for you to play. So when you add a bot to your game or anything like that and you're connected to a FIFA server on a PlayStation 4, one of these 3,800 PlayStation 4s is also playing with you. And that's just how this goes. This is probably just one of many server banks as well. And I put a little video of the FIFA bots in here. Just kind of showing you guys how, you know, how they play. Again, they look just like real people playing a game. Again, like you didn't have enough teammates or some of your normal players aren't there, you can have the computer play with you. And that's literally what this looks like. There's no screens because the computer doesn't need the screen, and it doesn't have any controllers. They're just stacked next to each other in a room and all hooked together and all hooked to the internet. So that way you guys can play together and have the computer play with you, which I think is kind of cool. I mean, it's like kind of a slap in the face for the investigators. Like, nice try, we're just playing FIFA in here. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just found that so funny.
I didn't understand exactly what was happening with this. I thought it was originally like some scandal that these computers were playing FIFA, but no, they were just doing that, and the investigators thought it was an illegal Bitcoin mining operation.
Yeah, that is exactly what happened there.
The opposite. I thought it was like, oh no, they're scamming the game by like using computers to compete against people. No. I get it now. Nope. That's ridiculous.
No, this is how all video games are set up. So any video game that has a bot that you can add to an online game, that's how they set up pretty much. I mean, they just have a bunch of the systems hooked together in a rooms with a bunch of air conditioning units, and that's pretty much how it goes. There's humans in there usually to monitor them in case one freezes or needs to be rebooted or a network cable goes down or whatever happens.
They just have a system minister.
Yeah.
They're making sure. Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So next time.
I mean, the computers work well for that. I know the military. I think it's the Navy. It was the Navy. I think at one point it was it would be more expensive for them to build a supercomputer. Right. So they just strung a bunch of PS4s together and used that for some of their work.
I mean, they are really good computers. I'm not gonna lie. It's a great system. Did a good job.
Use their GPUs as. You don't necessarily need them to render out graphics at that point. Just take advantage of their speed and power, and you're good to go.
And that's literally what video game machines are designed to do. They're all designed for extreme output and calculation at just uber crazy speeds. So yeah, and that's why this makes total sense. So I think a lot of people in their mind thought that bots was built into games. It's just a piece of code sitting around, and when I select bot, that pops up, and you are kind of right. But there is a dedicated machine out there for that bot that has that dedicated hardware behind it. So
for that sort of game, you wouldn't have the processing power for your system to run every player.
No, and with the graphic detail that they have in those games too, I mean, it's up there. It's really up there. Some of those are. That's why I had to show you some of it. It almost looks like you're watching a real soccer game. I mean, you can't tell. Yeah. Like, it's amazing, and that's on a PlayStation 4. We're not even talking PlayStation 5. Can you imagine? That's also probably one reason why the supply and demand for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X is so bad, is because they have to have these massive server rooms, not actual consoles like this, but maybe they do. I mean, that's EA for you as well, because FIFA, I'm pretty sure, is an EA game. And I would not be surprised if this is just EA's way of saving some money. Instead of building actual server racks with the required hardware, they just bought a bunch of PlayStation 4s and stacked them together and called it good. That sounds like an EA thing to me. So
why not?
But it's just like a Bitcoin mining ring, and that's a heavy illegal, and they're using gaming equipment, which makes sense because it's heavily overclocked for Bitcoin mining / gaming, and that's exactly what you wanted to do. But it is not what was happening here. So these just be careful out there, people. There's a lot of things that happen on the web that aren't legitimate. So if you're going to start stringing there are thousands of councils, I'm sure the AI is going to be paying attention. So be careful. Just saying. Okay, and final news of the day. Hallelujah.
Yeah, speaking of consoles.
Yeah, what a transition, right? This Steam Deck is epic and awesome, and I love it, and I can't wait. And it's exactly a kick in the face to Nintendo, which I was just mentioning last week for anybody that was watching, because the OLED version of Switch is coming out. And this is going to be its direct competitor for sure.
Some people are even jokingly calling it the Nintendo Switch Pro.
You absolutely know someone's going to get this and put the Nintendo Switch software on it and just Switch software on it. They're going to
That'd be interesting to see them try. I mean, definitely it's going to be competition.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, you're not going to be able to run Nintendo games on it. Like, you can play on. You can play anything that comes from Steam.
Yes.
Which, I mean, would be fantastic.
Heck yeah. You could run Windows 8, 10. I mean, it's pretty much a dedicated computer crammed in there, except for that you have an APU.
Is it just handheld?
Not a
Or does it have dock?
Right.
So that you can hook it up to a TV is what I'm wondering.
Now, you can hook it up to a TV, but there are docks, but they're sold separately. They're not going to be bundled with it, apparently. So that's a downside, unlike Nintendo.
Need an extra controller.
Yeah,
looks like.
You do. So
are those buttons underneath it?
Yes.
Are those?
Yes.
Like, I see the left and right, but it looks like there's two
on the back too. Yep.
Like way down in like towards the bottom of it.
Yep.
Those are 4 buttons.
Yep. And those are for like if you have the Extreme controller from like the Xbox, it also has those down there. Maybe your hands are too busy with the thumbsticks, so it gave you extra buttons on the bottom. Yes.
Like right here.
Exactly. Yep.
That's
super simple. Like I have an Xbox controller right here,
out of nowhere.
and so the buttons would be down here.
Yeah, this
super
like
cool.
All of it. It's like we wake up one day and hey, look what we've got.
Yes.
That so much secrecy.
Now this thing is crammed with hardware. I mean, it's got 16 gigs of RAM in it. It's amazing. There's 3 different memory modules you can get. Like the standard, I think, is just the regular 64, and then it goes up from there. So you do go all the way up.
Compact. Yeah, right. 64. EMMC. What is that?
So the eMMC is just a slower version, pretty much an NVMe. It's not as fast. I think it's built more right onto the board, so I don't think you'll be able to upgrade that. Is really I think they're trying to tell you there.
Yeah, it's it means embedded multimedia card, so it's like soldered on.
Right.
On there. That's what it is.
I'm going to show you guys the website here with the pricing as well for the different amount of storage, which makes total sense here. So your processor and your CPU, GPU / APU, because they're crammed together, so you don't have 2 separate things like a computer, which is what's making this even cooler. Now, if you've ever used Steam in studio mode on your PC, apparently that is exactly how this software is going to work. They just took Steam and stripped the old school desktop version out of it and just put studio mode right onto this device and allow you to cram as many games onto there as you want. And the games do all the other support. They have all of the built-in drivers and things necessary for it. I'll scroll through the website here. Obviously, the middle of the ground one gives you faster storage and a carrying case, as well as exclusive Steam community profile bundle, which I'm not even really sure what that actually means. It probably gives you more exclusive content, allows you to probably share more games with friends and things as well, because they already do all that stuff anyway. But the biggest one, which is almost $700, I'm sure after taxes it would definitely be, gives you like a premium anti-glare etched glass, which is pretty cool, as well as the carrying case, virtual keyboard themes, and other Steam profile bundles and stuff like that. I'm just excited about the processor they crammed into this thing. It is straight out of AMD. It's old school processor, but they ramped it up a little bit. It's only the Zen 2, but they crammed the RDNA 2 powerhouses into it somehow. So it's like it's streamlined better. I mean, really just kind of blew this thing out of the water. I'm just done. I think this is really gonna really kind of kick.
Sounds like AMD's starting to make a bit of a comeback. I
think so.
Every year, I remember from my first days of building computers, one year like you got with Intel. The next year it's like, oh, AMD now.
AMD, yep, it
and
was back forth.
The processor wars, and they're still going, it sounds like.
I mean, the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Valve, Nintendo, they have all switched to AMD.
Then Apple just goes up on its own and says, hey, screw you, I'm making my own.
Which are great. They're great processors, and they will hold up in all of this war. No problem, absolutely. In fact, the processor they have in this is very similar, except for that there's no AI crammed into this processor that I could tell. And they haven't really given us a processor breakdown, like an actual schematic of the Zen architecture of this particular. And I don't think we'll actually get that until way later in the year. When people are like tearing them apart and stuff is probably when we'll start getting the actual what's actually going on in this thing, because this is what it kind of reminds me of is back in the day when we had Game Boy, we had the Sega Nightmare, which haven't done the handheld video yet, and I'm working on that in the main episodes for sure, but we'll definitely talk about the Sega handheld, which this very much looks like. One of the problems with that Sega handheld was that it took like 8 batteries, 8 AA's or something like that. It was like 6 or 8 AA's, and they would die within like 2 or 3 hours. So you'd have to constantly carry like a horde of batteries with you or plug it into the wall was your other option. And this thing has the same problem. It has a very tiny battery compared to the Nintendo Switch. It's like a quarter of the size. So this battery is only going to last, they say 2 to 4 hours if you're playing Portal 2 at 720p 60 frames a second. So you're not at in a full thing, and that's a really shady area. 2 to 4 hours is a big gap there. You know, you couldn't have.
Probably depends on just the game and how
you're doing it.
Running.
You know,
I think Nintendo definitely, like, it's a bit of competition, but it's also different markets. I think
totally different market. Like, absolutely, yeah. Like I don't know. Like, I would almost say more hardcore.
If you're playing some like Breath of the Wild or Animal Crossing, you probably don't have much time to play other games.
Exactly.
I'm just guessing on that. Right. And yeah, it is different consumer basis to an extent, but I think Nintendo still has the leg up because
I think the price is what really gives Nintendo the leg up.
The separate Joy-Cons that you can take off and keep the Switch docked, so you don't have to work with the battery there. That I think is a big selling point. Multiplayer using the Joy-Cons individually is a big part of it.
You can't take the controllers off of it at all. No,
Nintendo's also had an extremely loyal fan base. That I know.
Definitely.
And right now he just got Skyward Sword, which they revamped for Switch. Right. Apparently that's a very polarizing game. People either hate it or love it. A lot of the issues when it came, I think it was the Wii U or just the Wii. It's the motion control that they hated. He tried it. He stopped after like 3 hours and hated it. But now he can't stop talking about it. He's raving about this game. It is a fantastic game, he said. He said one of the dungeons was the best designed dungeon in a Zelda game he's ever played. So Nintendo might have dropped the ball at E3, but it sounds like
they're catching
they've
up.
made some good things. It's, hey, we got Skyward Sword out, and it's still cool, and we got a new OLED version.
Which is very cool. I don't think
we've heard enough from them, and I think this might get Nintendo to say, we need to do better.
Yeah, and I think it really is coming. I really think we got to hold on, and like Nintendo, they will just wait and see how this goes. This isn't coming out until later this year anyway. Like October, I think, is when this was coming out, or August or something.
Quarter 2 of 22.
Oh, whoa. Okay, I'm sorry. Way out
saw
there.
That when you put the website said if you go up where it shows all 3.
It says when will order be available? 20. Wow. Yeah.
But at the top, scroll down a little bit more.
Oh yeah, quarter 2, 2022.
Order availability, quarter 2 of 2022. So it's gonna be.
That's a delay, but this is a lot of hardware crammed in there.
Had another Christmas season to keep some of their market share.
And poor AMD, I mean, how are they up? You are now manufacturing every gaming console out there. Like, it has your hardware. It could be why we're having such a delay and shortages everywhere. I mean, because I know I've had a lot of family members and friends upgrading and getting new laptops and PCs, and it just seems like the season and the time to do so. And why not? I even got some hand-me-down parts, which are way better than what I was already using, so I'm happy with that. But yeah, no, this is great. And I think this is kind of a good sidestep. If you don't think the Nintendo Switch is you know, gaming enough. Like, you want to play Doom and you want to play Portal and really want to, like, you know, just zone out into a game. Now you actually have the ability to go to the park and play a game outside. Again, I don't think this is going to be as fun as everybody's thinking it's going to be. Like I said, it's not like the Joy-Cons where we can play together and I can just set the screen up. There's no kickstand or anything. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't meant to be a standalone entertainment device. It's supposed to be you by yourself playing online or playing mobilely with people. You know, it's not supposed to be like a super fun social breakdown into 8,000 things.
Yeah,
you know,
to lug around your laptop
right.
or your PC. So,
and yeah,
I mean, it makes sense.
It does. It makes total sense, especially for a hardcore gamer that's like, you know what, I really don't want to bring my gaming, you know, laptop with me everywhere to play my Steam games. Now you can get this, and I actually have a lot of friends that love Steam games, but, you know, like I said, don't want to bring their laptop everywhere. So this might be a way for them to play their Steam games without having to go all over the place. Kitty time. But yeah.
He wanted to say
Hello.
he was jealous that Max got him. So, but he hasn't met him. This is Max. No, this is Mr. William. I'm sorry, I just called him Max.
No. Oh, jeez, don't. Yeah, no.
He's a 26-pound chunk.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
And he's there and keeps me company when I edit videos. It's been a bit.
Well, I did have the IGN Steam Deck video. It was them doing the hands-on of it, but it really was just a lot of them sitting there talking about it. So I was like, you know, yeah, screw it. We're already going to do that, so I just grabbed that other video.
You got the 360 view of it.
I think that looks amazing. I mean, it looks really cool. I think this is going to sell pretty decently. I don't think it's going to really shock Nintendo too much at all. I think they will honestly be fine. And I don't think this is really going to, you know, make them shake in their boots. I'm sure they've got another console set up to take over for Switch, because we're at the end of Switch's life. I really feel like we're getting to that. I feel like they may even try to make a Switch Mini to replace the 3DS, which I feel like they're trying to kind of phase out the DSs and 3DSs and kind of, I know, but I think they're going to try to make more of a just that's their handheld, and then they're going to come out with a new home console kind of thing. But I've been wrong before. I was wrong about the Nintendo, so we'll see.
You were wrong about everything at E3. I mean, it was disappointing, to an extent.
Well, yeah, Microsoft did a good job.
Again, like you said, they probably got something up their sleeve, just waiting for the right time.
That's always how they are.
We'll find out.
But anyway, I think that pretty much wrapped up our news for today. We did our stream, or the Steam deck, and we talked about the PlayStation 4 bots not mining. Hubble's finally back, and we got our SpaceX news finally back, which is awesome. And that new booster is so cool. I can't wait to see more. So we will definitely keep everybody in the loop for next week here. Thank you all for tuning in. I know that we had a few people at the beginning here.
It was great to be back.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Andrew. I'm so happy to see you again. So happy to have you back. It's so much better to have you some company on the show than just me rambling on the whole time. But yeah, definitely check out our main episodes that we have posted already. I did do a video game free episode, which will kind of go into, I think I talk about handheld briefly, but I am going to do another episode all about the handheld histories and how they all unfolded. So that is coming. But definitely not until probably October-ish is when those main episodes will be back for Keys Enabled. We just need a little more time to catch up. I know my workplace has just been all about hiring people, and I'm losing 2 more people in 2 weeks. So like, so yes, crazy. Anyway, so thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate you. And if you guys have any questions or comments or anything at all, I'm going to put our email up here on the screen, which is right above my head here. And so Keys Enabled 01 at Gmail. If you guys have any questions or comments or concerns, or you want us to do a special episode on something or whatever it is, let us know, and we'll dive into the research and let you guys know what we find. But hopefully the news was great today. I had a great time, and I definitely learned something, I can tell you that, and hopefully you guys did too. I appreciate everybody for tuning in, and I will talk to you guys all later. See you guys.
See ya.